Good evening. I am the Keeper, and you are listening to the Deadlight Codex. This is the account of a traveler who found himself in a motel room that shouldn't have been occupied. The journey began on a desolate highway, the kind that stretches into the horizon with no promise of civilization. As night fell, fatigue forced him to stop at a small, dimly lit motel. The vacancy sign flickered ominously, a beacon of uncertainty in the darkness. The air was thick with the scent of rain, hinting at an approaching storm. The traveler checked in with the motel clerk, a man whose eyes were as weary as his own. The clerk, George, assured him that room 7 was ready and unoccupied. Yet as the traveler approached the door, a strange sensation settled in his gut. The key turned, but the door resisted, as if reluctant to reveal its secrets. Inside, the air was stale and heavy, carrying whispers of a presence that should not have been there. The wallpaper peeled slightly, revealing layers of time and neglect hidden beneath. Once inside, the traveler noticed small details that unsettled him. A suitcase lay open on the bed, clothes neatly folded within, each piece meticulously arranged. A pair of polished shoes, not his own, rested by the door, like silent sentinels. The bathroom light was on, casting a sickly yellow glow that stretched shadows into grotesque shapes. He turned off the light, trying to dispel the feeling of intrusion. Yet the sense of being watched persisted, an invisible weight pressing down on the room, the silence heavy with unspoken stories. As the night deepened, the traveler lay in bed, listening to the silence, or what should have been silence. Instead, there were soft footsteps, a rustle of fabric, the faint creak of a door, as if someone was slowly moving through the shadows. Each sound chipped away at his composure, feeding a growing dread that coiled around his heart. He called the front desk, but George insisted no one else had checked in, his voice distant and echoing through the receiver. Alone with his fear, the traveler considered leaving, but an inexplicable pull kept him rooted, as though the room itself held him captive. Determined to confront his fears, the traveler rose and inspected the room. He opened the closet, revealing nothing but emptiness, yet the air felt colder within. A cold draft whispered past him, carrying a scent of damp earth and decay, and the sensation of being watched intensified. He turned, scanning the room with a growing sense of urgency, but found only stillness mocking him in return. Returning to bed, he tried to rationalize the events, attributing them to fatigue and imagination. But deep down, he knew better, the truth lurking just beyond his grasp. The clock ticked past midnight when the traveler heard it again, a soft, deliberate scrape against the door, like fingernails on wood. Heart pounding, he approached carefully, peering through the peephole. He saw nothing but the inky blackness of the corridor, where shadows seemed to breathe and pulse. A shadowy figure seemed to linger just out of view, an uninvited guest waiting for acknowledgement. Gathering his courage, the traveler flung open the door, only to find the corridor empty, save for the oppressive silence that enveloped him like a shroud. Returning to the room, the traveler noticed something new, a photograph on the nightstand. It was of him, taken from behind, standing at the motel check-in. Panic surged through him as he realized the implications. Someone had been watching him, tracking his every move. The photograph was a message, a warning of unseen eyes and an unknown agenda. The edges of the photograph were curled and yellowed, as if it had been left there for a long time, waiting for him to discover it. The traveler decided to confront George, demanding answers. The clerk's demeanor shifted, a flicker of something unsettling crossing his face, like a mask slipping. George maintained that no one else had checked in, his voice strained and unconvincing, eyes darting away as if avoiding an unseen presence. Frustrated and unnerved, the traveler returned to his room, only to find it in disarray. An upturned chair, sheets pulled from the bed, and a window wide open, curtains billowing in the cool night air. Whoever was here wanted him to know it, leaving a trail of chaos in their wake. The tension escalated as the traveler armed himself with a makeshift weapon, a heavy lamp, its base cold and reassuring in his grip. He felt the presence growing bolder, the atmosphere thick with malevolence, a palpable force that seemed to press against him. Shadows danced mockingly around him, dark forms shifting in the corners of his vision as if taunting him. He knew the intruder was close, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves. The traveler braced himself for confrontation, every nerve on edge, the air electric with anticipation. The clock struck 3 when the traveler finally saw them. The intruder, standing in the doorway, shrouded in darkness. Their presence was both familiar and alien, as if they had always been there, waiting in the periphery. The traveler demanded to know who they were, his voice wavering. But the intruder remained silent, their face obscured by shadows, a figure without identity. A tense standoff ensued, broken only by the intruder's sudden swift movement towards the window. In an instant, they were gone, leaving only an echo of fear and the chilling certainty of their return. In the aftermath, the traveler found himself sitting on the floor, the weight of the encounter settling heavily on his shoulders. The room was in disarray, yet it felt eerily empty now. The oppressive presence lifted. He knew he had to leave, to escape the clutches of whatever had found him here. As dawn broke, he packed his belongings hastily, every creak of the floorboards echoing like a warning. The motel stood silent behind him, a place of forgotten nightmares, its secrets buried once more in the shadows. The traveler spent the rest of the night awake, adrenaline coursing through his veins, his mind replaying the night's events. Each sound, each shadow seemed to hold new significance. At dawn, he packed his things and left without a word, his heart pounding with each step. The motel stood silent behind him, a place of forgotten nightmares, its secrets hidden in the daylight. He never spoke of the events again, the memory sealed away, a lesson in the dangers of the unknown. They never went back, and if you're smart, neither will you.